Okay, we're just getting started here. If you're just rolling in and this is your first time to a live stream, my live streams are absolutely miserable to get started. In fact, my screen is dirty, so just give me a minute. Normally I take a minute or two to get started here, so if you're watching this after the fact, just be patient. I'm getting it set up, make sure the audio's working and everything else. I also dropped my phone this week, so my lens has got a little hooey on it. So we're going to be done with that until I get a new phone, probably next week. So, hey babe, will you grab me a Cocoa Joy out of the freezer? And let's get my music turned off here. And for those of you who are in here, can you hear me okay? And maybe just pop in the chat there real quick while we're letting people filter in. Just let me know where you're from. And like I said, if you're watching this after the fact, if you're not watching it live, you can fast forward like 2 minutes because it takes me about that long to get set up. As usual, sponsored by Cocoa Joy, coconut water, no added sugar, no preservatives, not from concentrate. It's just, or concentrate. This is just pure coconut water. I drink it during the live streams. I drink it during my rides. I always drink it after my rides. It has natural electrolytes and stuff that makes you feel good after you go out and do a big effort on the bike. Let me get get over to my YouTube channel here on my computer so I can see the chat. Looks like people are chiming in already. I'll hop in there in just a second. Again, I'm going to be repetitive here at the beginning if this is your first time, or if you're watching this after the fact, meaning you're not watching it live. Give us a couple minutes to get started here and we'll start talking about the Ibis Ripley, what bikes I'm currently riding, just kind of what I've been up to, and what videos are coming out next. We're going to talk a lot about tires tonight too. Tires, I've had so many questions about how to build up a bike lightweight. It sounds like that's pretty appealing to a lot of the viewers of the most recent video. Okay, I got to go over to my channel. And there it is. Oh, darn it, my thumbnail didn't work. It's just a white screen. I had a cool picture of me on my Ripley. I'll get that thumbnail figured up after the fact. Okay, it looks like we are going. Let me pop out the chat real quick. Okay. All right, Bill W. Hi from St. Louis. What's up, my man? He's also a moderator tonight. He's always good to keep an eye on things, make sure it's all good. People are not being vulgar or too crazy. We got Kurt in here. Carlos, what's up? Jeff B from San Diego. Man, let's talk about San Diego. Let's talk about California right now. The whole flipping state is on fire. I feel so bad for all of you guys out in California. Over 300 wildfires burning right now, from what I understand. It's just a real bad deal. So, Jeff, you're in our thoughts and prayers. Everyone, keep those guys in California. Sean, looks like you're in the San Francisco Bay Area. Same thing, man. Bad deal what you guys are dealing with right now. All right, Omar, you're in here from California. Man, a lot of California people. Carlos, you're in Central California. Where do you buy Cocoa Joy? Tea Time says. You buy Cocoa Joy from CocoaJoyUSA.com and use promo code yumyum at checkout for 15% off and free shipping. Or you can hop on Amazon and buy it. I'm sure there's other places to purchase it as well, but you get 15% off and free shipping if you buy your Cocoa Joy from their website using promo code yumyum at checkout. It's delicious. It doesn't taste like chemicals. It's just pure coconut water, better when it's cold. A few other things I just want to mention real quick. This last video I did about the 1 year update on the Ripley is probably the most I've ever had a call to action. About a minute and a half into the video, I said, hey guys, if you're going to buy a Ripley or if you're going to buy any mountain biking gear at all, use the links in the description below my videos. They take you to Competitive Cyclists. I am an affiliate of theirs, and I do this for free. I don't get paid to do this. YouTube pays us a little bit from AdSense, but I've always been for the last 2.5, 3 years now. I've almost been doing this 3 years. I've never asked people for money, or I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any bike companies sending me free bikes or free product. So I've started doing affiliate marketing through Competitive Cyclists, and just yesterday, people bought over $1,000 worth of product using my links from that video yesterday, and it pays me, about 10 to 16%. So for me yesterday, it made $150 just from posting that video. That's way more than what the video will make over the next year of people watching the video. So those are a huge thing. If you're going to buy something online anyway, that's a great way to support the channel. I'm finally feeling shameless enough to just promote myself and just say, hey guys, if you're going to buy gear anyway from competitive cyclists, go to my YouTube videos, click on the links before you go buy, and it's really a huge shot in the arm financially for me. Not that I need the money necessarily, but you know, it's nice because I spend a lot of time doing this. And I think you guys who come to the live streams and you guys who really watch all my videos understand that's a lot of time and effort I put into these. And I know it's not high production, but hey, it's, you know, I get to ride a lot of different bikes on the same trail. So hopefully I'm adding good content for you guys. So I really appreciate all of you who used the links yesterday. And it's a real help. All right. I don't know how many of you guys are here for the Ibis Ripley or if you're just here to hang out, but we're going to talk about the Ibis Ripley first because people who filter in and watch this video after the fact, which we're already 6 minutes in. Oh man, I should have told them to fast forward 6 minutes. Now we're going to get started talking about the Ripley. The Ripley, just to sum it up, is it gives me a bike. The reason why I've kept it as long as I have, I'm not sponsored by Ibis. I could go ride a Pivot or a Yeti or a Santa Cruz or any bike I wanted. But the reason why I keep riding the Ibis is because there's not another bike out there that is efficient as a climber as this Ibis Ripley is, that can still go and get me lost in the woods, and it doesn't matter what type of sketchy terrain I come up on, I can handle it on that bike. I had a bike before this, which was a Rocky Mountain Element, which was the type of bike I was used to riding, going out and racing cross country and just really pedal and hammer the pedals. And that bike just can't do what the Ripley can do. The Yeti SB100, in my opinion, can't do what the Ripley can do. So for me, that's the reason why I've kept it so long. It's unbelievable. All right. So any questions about the Ibis Ripley? Let it rip, and let's see what you guys are wondering about. First of all, Steven with the super chat. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. He says, great channel. Give your tire preferences. What width Ibis carbon rims would you order with your Ripley build? The 28s or the 35s? Thanks. Great question. So I rode the Ibis S28 wheels at the beginning of my Ibis Ripley experience. I've had other Ibis carbon wheels on other Ibis bikes in the past, and the S28s for me is the perfect wheel. I don't know why they call it the S28 because it's actually 29 millimeters internal diameter. And for those of you who are not familiar, a lot of you guys probably already know this, so it'll be just a little tune-up for you, but they measure wheel widths. The measurement that matters is the internal width or diameter, the internal diameter. And on the S28s, it's 29 millimeters. On the S35s, it's 35 millimeters. So for me, a 35 millimeter rim, internal diameter rim width, is for me a little wide for a 2.4 or a 2.35 tire. And it kind of gives the tire like this kind of a profile instead of a rounder. Well, my hands aren't doing the trick. It just gives it kind of a square profile as opposed to a round profile, and I prefer the round profile. It is, in my opinion, a more predictable turning profile for the tire, and I just prefer it. Plus, they're a little bit lighter weight. I'm a little bit of a weight weenie if you guys haven't gathered that by now. So the S28s is the wheel is the diameter I'd go with the Ibis wheels. And tire preference. Okay, I knew we were going to talk about tires. I just didn't think we'd get into this quick. But Steven, this is the tires I have on my Ripley right now, sitting right there in front of me, is a Recon 2.4 front tire by Maxxis and a Ardent Race 2.35 tire. But I've got a whole stack of tires sitting over there, and I've got a ton of miles with the Maxxis Dissector 2.4 front tire, and Recon in the back. So that gives you just a little bit more traction, slightly slower rolling than what I have on there right now. But it's good. I've got probably 400 miles on the Ripley with that tire setup. I've got probably 1,000 miles with this setup, and I probably got 500 miles with an Ardent Race front and rear, or an Ardent Race front and Recon Race 2.25 rear. That tire is terrible. I can't stand the Recon Race. It's like a slick and zero braking power, and yeah, it's just a scary tire. You got to be really wanting to win a race to put the Recon Race on there. So yeah, I like Ardent Race front and rear 2.35. I like the Recon in the front with the Ardent Race in the back. And then I've also ridden this with a DHR2 up front in a 2.3 with a Maxxis Forecaster in the back. Probably got 500 or 600 miles on that tire set. That's what I rode the very beginning, March and April of 2019. I rode the Maxxis DHR2 up front and the Forecaster in the back. That's also a good setup. I would probably take the Dissector Recon over that DHR2. And I'll probably put some of this in the description of this video afterwards. Anyway, hope that helps. And every bike's different. And really, you guys got to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I'm not riding necessarily your trails or your riding style or kind of what you're doing with your bike. So it is applicable maybe because I have a lot of experience on different tire setups, but you really need to figure out what's best for your trail system and your riding style. And tires is such an affordable way to significantly change your bike. I mean, that Ripley can feel like a completely different bike if you go and put a Maxxis DHF 2.5 front tire and a DHR2 2.3 rear tire on. It's just wildly different. So, and that's the great thing about tires. For $70, you can go throw new tires on there and have a really unique new experience. So, Steven, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. I'm missing a bunch of stuff in the chat here, but the Ripley. Where do I even get started? I mentioned this just a minute ago, but it's lightweight for me to go out and hammer the pedals. I have a lot of uphill climbing, 10, 12, 15, 16-minute PR segments on Strava on that bike, which means it's faster than, who knows, I might be stronger right now, but I'm not stronger right now. I was strongest probably back in 2014, 2015, but it's faster than the Rocky Mountain Element that I have recorded on Strava because I've got PRs on the Ripley, faster than the Yeti SB100. It's faster than my Rocky Mountain Element. In fact, let's talk about the Rocky Mountain Element right now. I love the Rocky Mountain Element. That bike's geometry came out it was way before its time. I mean, the current pivot switchblade, which I love and own, has very similar geometry as the Rocky Mountain Element that came out, I want to say 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Yeah, 2.5 years ago, I want to say that Rocky Mountain Element came out. 75.5 degree seat tube angle. What is it? 66.5 or maybe 67 degree head tube angle. In any, either way, I don't have it off the top of my head, but what I'm trying to say is that Rocky Mountain Instinct, I love that bike because of how good the geometry was. It was just perfect. The Ripley came out and it was very similar, a slightly steeper seat tube angle, slightly slacker head tube angle, and then once you bump the fork to 140, that's how the Instinct came, was with 140 front and rear. But once you bump the fork to 140 on the Ripley, forget about it. That's the perfect, in my opinion, the perfect trail geometry, which is so cool that Pivot came out with their Switchblade just recently in the last 6 months, 2020, and it has this same geometry where so many other brands are going much steeper seat tube angles, much slacker head tube angles, which is cool, but we're kind of enduroing, whatever. We're creating all these trail bikes into like enduro geometry. And Bill W., I don't want to offend you. I love you like a brother, man. But Bill, he just sold his Tall Boy and he's been riding it for a while. And I love the Tall Boy. It's a great bike, but that geometry is just a little too much for that bike. And you look at some of these other bikes coming out, man, they are getting slacker and slacker in the head tube angle. And that's cool when you're bombing downhill, but let's be honest with ourselves. We all see all the people out there riding on the trail. I ride, a handful of days a week and I head out there, and I mean, most people are not just going mock chicken, and that's fine. I don't go mock chicken all the time, but the reality is that Pivot Switchblade, the Ibis Ripley, and the Rocky Mountain Instinct have so close to the perfect geometry. I honestly think geometry makes a bigger difference than so many other factors that we talk about all the time. You know, how much suspension travel? Is it 120 mil or 140 mil? The reality is the Rocky Mountain Instinct with 140 millimeters of travel doesn't really handle the downhill any better than my Ibis Ripley with 120 millimeters. Now, granted, a Fox 36 is going to feel more stable up front than a Fox 34, but I think it comes down to geometry. And that's why I was so stoked about with this pivot switchblade. And geez, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know why I didn't think about this. The Rebel Rascal has almost the exact same geometry as well. It's just a sweet spot, in my opinion, for a really good trail bike. So, reason why I love the Ripley is the reason why you guys should love the geometry of the Ripley. So if you don't buy the Ripley as your next bike, it doesn't make a difference to me, but you should look for it. If you're doing a lot of trail riding and you're just going to have one bike, I would look for geometry numbers that are real similar to those bikes. Pivot Switchblade, Rocky Mountain Instinct, in the Ibis Ripley, and the Rebel Rascal. The Rebel Rascal could use maybe a little bit steeper seat tube angle, but it's right there. It's real close. So, also, hey, Bill, can you hear me okay? I feel like maybe it's not coming through very well. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay real quick. Anyway, so geometry, and the reason why I'm talking like this is because I literally get dozens of questions every day, even though maybe those questions weren't from you necessarily. I get dozens of questions every day asking me different questions about which bike to buy. And the reality is there's so many good bikes. I say that all the time. So many good bikes. Okay, Jacobs, thanks for the thumbs up. You know, if you get settled in on a brand that you like, maybe your bike shop is a transition dealer and you're like, you want to support your bike shop because they're your guys, they take care of you, they throw your bike up in the stand when you come in and fix it for you so you can get out on the trail, they don't make you wait 2 weeks type of thing, and you want to support that. I get that. And they're a Santa Cruz dealer or a transition dealer or whoever. I would look for a bike that has that geometry because that is the ticket in my opinion. Some of these bikes are getting a little too enduro-ified, in my opinion. And we're not all enduro racers. I'm not Cody Kelly ripping up a trail at Mock Chicken all the time. Sometimes I just want to go get some exercise or just, you know, get out of the house and forget about work for a minute, you know? So many different reasons why we ride. In fact, that's what I always tell people too is it comes, you know, what bike you should buy comes down to your riding style, your terrain, your speed. That's maybe the biggest factor, speed. And then your expectations, like what you want to get out of mountain biking. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you want to stand on a podium of a big race that you were working for, or a bunch of big races, or a whole series of races. But now you're kind of like, yeah, I'm over that. I got to go to my kid's soccer game and ballet practice and piano recitals, you know? And I don't have time to kill myself with 15 hours a week of riding. I just want something that's maybe fun, maybe take the edge off things a little bit. You bump up from that Specialized Epic or that Trek Top Fuel or the Rocky Mountain Element and get yourself into a Ripley. Or maybe you used to ride a Ripley and you want to go smash some rocks and not worry about having to worry about pedaling uphill. You don't care about pedaling uphill anymore. Go get yourself a Yeti SB150. That thing's an absolute freaking party on the descents. So yeah, determine what your expectations are and be honest with yourself about what your speed is. If your speed's not real high, you don't need an SB150. I can tell you that much. All right. Any other questions? Sorry, guys, I have not been reading the chat tonight. I just been rambling on like an idiot. Let's hop in the chat here real quick. Let's see. Ripley versus Bronson. I'm not going there tonight. Sorry. How would you compare the Ripley to the V3 Tallboy? All right, now that's a good question. The V3 was the previous one, right? Aren't we on the 4th iteration of the Tallboy? Maybe someone who's smarter than me can clarify that real quick. I'm pretty sure we're on the Tallboy 4 right now. So the Tallboy 3, I love that bike. That's what the Tallboy is all about, in my opinion. The previous Tallboy, in fact, the previous Bronson, man, what a trail machine. That thing was killer. I'd like to look up the geometry numbers on those bikes, see what those are. So here's the problem, guys, for me. I'm not riding, I don't care what it is, I'm not riding a 120 millimeter, 30-pound bike. No way. I'm not riding a 120 millimeters travel in the rear, 30-pound freaking bike. That's insane. I don't care who you are. Because you can go buy a bike with more travel that's going to go get rowdy. It just, I don't know. For me, the Tallboy 4 is just too heavy. Now, the Tallboy 3, that's a bike that'll build up pretty light. It had the suspension, the shock placement was up off of the top tube. as opposed to that new lower link that Santa Cruz is using. And that's a little heavier. I mean, Evil has the same problem with their Delta Link, right? Phenomenal bikes, super fun, just downhill party machines. But I don't know, they don't always climb the best and they are always heavy. The Evil Following, that's a heavy freaking bike, man. So, I'm not trying to offend any of you guys who have the Following or the Offering, or no, the Following. This is the short travel bike. The Following or the Tall Boy. It's just, I don't know, man. When you can get a Rocky Mountain Instinct with 140 millimeters of travel, awesome geometry, 26.5 pounds, 27 pounds, that's really hard to beat. My Ibis Ripley, same story, even lighter, 25, 26 pounds. You don't have to spend a lot of money on the Ibis Ripley to get it under 27 pounds. I'm thinking like an XT build with some carbon bars and carbon hoops, and you're there. That's like, what, a $6,500 bike? Which by today's standards, I mean, bikes are absolutely through the freaking roof right now. I mean, I can't believe how expensive bikes are. It's insane. I mean, we all buy them because we're all just idiots for this sport. And so what else are we going to do? I'm not going to go ride a skateboard or a little, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride a mountain bike, and I want a good mountain bike. But man, you can spend 10 grand, 8, 9, 10 grand pretty easy here in 2020 on a freaking bike that you have to pedal. Dirt bikes aren't even that much. You can go buy a brand new Yamaha YZ freaking race bike for like $7,500. You can buy a KTM for $10,000 and you have to pedal the dang thing. Anyway, yeah, bikes are out of control. We got to do something. What we need to do, this is what we need to do. We need to start our own bike company. I don't know how we do it though, because you just have to buy all this Shimano and SRAM and Fox, and yeah, you're stuck. The answer is, look, the answer is the same answer I received at my wedding reception, which someone's giving me budget advice or something like that, and everyone's giving their budget advice going around. Oh, you can be thrifty here, you can coupon here, and look, here's the answer. A guy told me, he says, look, when it comes to budget, here's what you do, Jay. Make more money. Just go make a shit ton more money and don't worry about the budget. And that's how it is in mountain biking, man. You can spend a lot of money. I know I'm kind of going off here, but man, mountain bikes are just, it's insane. I think it's going to be a 2 Coco Joy night, although that's a lot of Coco Joy this late at night. But I'm halfway through this thing and I'm not ready to leave. We're just getting started. I haven't even hopped in the chat yet, man. We're just barely getting started. All right, I'm getting in the chat here. We're going to find out what's going on. Whew, travel the narrow trail. You were on it. Tall Boy 4. That's right. SB130 rider here, Matt Keating says, extra maintenance has been a total afterthought. Non-issue in my opinion. It sounds like I missed something there in the chat, but yeah, SB130, I didn't love that bike, but I'm really excited to ride the SB130 lunch ride. In fact, I have a demo lined up on that bike in a week. Probably next weekend I'll be riding that bike. So a video could be coming out on the SB130 lunch ride in maybe 3 weeks, a month. Who knows? It's coming though. Man, if you had a question that I missed, I'm buried in this chat here. Oh, it looks like Steve's got another super chat. Man, don't spend all your money on me, Steve. Thank you though. I do appreciate it, but I feel bad too. It sounds like the Ripley works with Fox to build a proprietary frame shock. Do you think it's as good as or better than many of the stock Fox shocks or similar travels? Look, here's the reality. I think what he's asking, he's talking about how Fox worked with Ibis to create the traction tune shock for the Ripley. I'm assuming, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what you're saying. And that's honestly what most brands do. Pivot did that with the Switchblade. Fox spent a ton of time with Pivot, Chris Kokalis at Pivot, working on that specific tune for that Switchblade. And if that's what you're talking about, I think that's a pretty common thing. Steve, chime in here if that's what you're talking about. But yeah, I think that's a pretty common thing. But I love the traction tune also. For example, I'm running probably 6 clicks from full fast on my DPS shock on that Ibis Ripley. So from the full fast setting on the DPS shock, I'm probably 6 clicks away from full fast on my rebound setting, right? On the Switchblade, I'm 2 clicks away from full fast because I need the bike to liven up because it's because of the tune. Just the way it's tuned. It's not tuned for lighter. Here's the problem with being a lightweight guy like me. I'm 140 pounds getting out of the shower. So after my clothes are on and my pack is on and my water's on and my shoes and my helmet and glasses and everything, I'm probably 148 pounds or something, right? And I don't activate the suspension enough to really use all the valving and make all the oil blow through those valves and everything, right? And so the traction tune is really good for me because I can set the bike down into the settings where I can really find value. A lot of these other bikes, like the Switchblades, I gotta ride them almost full open all the time. I don't have any compression or dampening or rebound dampening at all. It's just full open. Otherwise, the bike can feel a little dead. I'm not heavy enough. I don't impact the bike enough when I'm riding it to need those adjustments. So it's just full fast. All right, popping back into the chat here. Kevin, another super chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Can we get a sneak peek of the Mojo? Hey, you guys need to follow me on Instagram. In fact, I should have said that. Dang it, I should have said that at the very first 5 minutes of this thing. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please stop what you're doing right now. Head over to Instagram and follow me. It's at MTB Yum. My name is Jason Dahl, but you'll see it at MTB Yum. I have a ton of content on Instagram every day just because it's so easy just to flick my phone open and record what I'm doing or show what I'm riding. So there's been content on Instagram about the Mojo 4. I'm still tinkering around with it, and the video has not been filmed yet, which means it hasn't been edited, which means it's not going to be uploaded for at least 3 weeks. So Mojo 4 video is coming. I don't know what to tell you about it. It doesn't feel the same as the previous Mojo, and it doesn't feel like the Mojo. It doesn't feel like the Ripley V4, the current Ripley. It feels, I don't know, I need more time on it. It feels more HD4-ish, like the previous HD4 maybe, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you guys. Doesn't feel as playful as the previous one. I hope you guys are having a good time. We've got 140 people in here right now, and I hope you're all having a good time. I'm enjoying my Coca Joy. I like hanging out with you guys. I like the chat here. I love that you guys just get going in the chat. You guys just have all this stuff going on the whole time. I love it. All right, I'm going to say your name wrong. Is it Jackus from Canada? Thanks for the Canadian $6.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. When do you think the new version will come along? Scared to buy, or say early next year? Then a couple of months later, a new one arrives. Which one are you talking about? A new Ripley? When do I think the new Ripley will come out? I'm assuming that's what you're asking. I don't think they're going to change the Ripley personally, but I don't know either. It's been out for what, a year and a half? My guess, this is my guess. My guess is that if they do change the Ripley, it's going to be nothing. It'll be just a little tweak, a little update, kind of like what they did with the Ripmo. They didn't change that all that much, honestly. And so to answer your question, I don't think they're going to come out with a new Ripley. And if they do, it'll be the most subtle of changes, and it will have new colors. So if I haven't found a bike that I like better than this Ripley when that time comes, which I think, if I'm predicting, I don't know. Good night, sis. Love you. I'm guessing April 2021, new Ripley colors. I don't know if it's actually going to be an actual change to the frame, but probably new Ripley colors in April, which would be good because if I haven't found a new bike to swap out, then I wouldn't mind changing things up. I've been on this blue bike for a long time. I wouldn't mind some different color in my living room here, which, by the way, if you guys don't follow my my live chats, I just keep all my bikes in the living room right there. So that is that. Yeah, so I bet the Ripley gets new colors, and that's about it. And I'll be excited for new colors. And if they change something, I hope they just don't change too much because it's just so good right where it's at right now. I'd hate to see them change anything. The Ripley, you guys already know because I've talked about this in my videos, but it's got a real poppy, playful characteristic. You start cranking on those pedals, and that bike just responds so quick. It loves to just be whipped around through those fast Burmese type turns. I love riding hardpack, fast, smooth, flowy stuff on this bike. It just rails. It's it's awesome. It's incredible. It reminds me of just being on a set of skis, just carving up the mountain. I feel so in control. It's so light and easy to manual and push around and just bunny hop over stuff. It's incredible. And that's why I like it. I don't like a bike that's so heavy. So when I talk about my everyday bike, that's the term I use a lot. It's my everyday bike. It's a trail bike. Well, here's the thing. The Pivot Switchblade is a trail bike also. And so is the Ripley. And so is the Rascal. And so is the Pivot Trail 429. They're all trail bikes in my opinion, right? But they're different. They're way different. And until you get out and demo them, you're not going to know what I'm talking about or what other people are talking about in their reviews or their little ditties that they put online. And what I'm talking about is that Pivot Switchblade, it doesn't start to act like, this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say tonight, actually, I think, about the Ripley. And I probably should have made a bigger deal of saying this in the video. But the Pivot Switchblade and the Ibis Ripley do not have the same trail manners or characteristics as the Ripley until it's going 10 miles an hour faster. And the problem with that for me is I'm already riding most of the single track trails in my area as fast as I should be going, as fast as the trail. There's a thing called trail speed, right? It's the speed of the trail, just the natural speed of the trail. There's a lot of factors too. There could be someone coming up around a corner on a bike or running or on a horse on most trails. Most trails are multi-purpose, multi-use, multi-directional trails. So the Ripley will be, in my opinion, 90% of the trails that you ride or I ride. I don't care where you live. The Ripley will be more fun, more rewarding to the rider than the Switchblade or the Rascal or the Ripley, because you can't ride balls to the walls all the time on every freaking trail. You can't go mock chicken down every trail, because down a trail could be a freaking herd of Girl Scouts on a hike, you know what I'm saying? And so trail etiquette, trail responsibility, trail speed, most trail speed is 16, 17, 18 miles an hour is my guess. Now Jacob's Ladder, as you guys are all well acquainted with that trail from my videos, Jacob's Ladder is a multi-directional trail, but almost nobody goes up it. It's just so rare. It's just not very often that people are going up it, and it's not a real tight trail. It's just wide open and fast. And so that's a trail where the Ripley starts to now get into a speed where it's getting kind of pushed around a little bit. The Fox 34 gets overwhelmed a little bit because you're going, I think you hit 34, 35 miles an hour if you want. You can go faster than that if you want, but I think my max speed might be 37 miles an hour through sections of that trail, which is stupid fast. I don't need to be going that fast. I gotta go to work the next day. My kids are counting on me, right? But it's fun to go fast. It's fun to just mock chicken, let go of the brakes, open the throttle, and let the freaking thing go. So that's where the Switchblade and the Rascal and the Ritmo are more fun, right? But it's just, like I say in my videos, and I hope that this comes through in my videos, I feel like this is the most important thing I could say tonight. That's why the Ripley is my go-to bike. It just doesn't take a ton of speed to wake that thing up. It's just ready to go at a slower speed, which is really fun. If you guys are skiers at all, it's the difference between on a Bluebird groomer day, it's the difference being stuck on a pair of skis that are 105 millimeter width underfoot versus an 84, a real true GS ski that just wants to lay down some turns effortlessly and just whip short turns, have a really short turn radius, and it's just fun to just kind of just barely put the skis on edge and just ram, it starts railing. Powder ski, you gotta get going a little faster. It's a longer radius turn. It's just different. But on a powder day, there's no way in hell I'm going to be stuck on some GS skis. I want some powder skis, So my point is most of the time, it's not a powder day. Most of the time, I'm not riding wide open, mock chicken trails. But I do. And so that's why I own two bikes. I try to at least once a week get up into the high alpines and ride some really cool, steep, sketchy, loose, gnarly, chunky, whatever all these stupid terms that we use. I want to go ride some of that stuff because I love it. It's so rewarding. It gets my blood boiling, my heart pumping. I put my full face mask helmet on and go out and charge. with the guys and try to keep up with my friends. But most of the time, it's a ride before work in the morning, hour and a half, 1,500 vertical feet of climbing, and just need to get home in an hour and a half, you know? And cheers. Cheers to the Ripley. No doubt about it. I need to be put on these guys' payroll because I could sell this stuff all day long. And I actually bought this one from Harmon's. I had to go into Harmon's and buy these. They were on sale, luckily, 2 for $4, which is a local grocery store here in Utah. Because the Coca Joy guy didn't send me any, but he just sent me some. I just got some boxes, but this is a Harmon's one here. Anyway, all right, I'm hopping in the chat now. We're gonna hang out in the chat. If you have any more questions about the Ripley, put it in here. I think I have done the Ripley justice at this point. What do you think, Mars? Totally. I also just want to include a couple things also. For everyone who has purchased from the links in the descriptions below my videos, thank you. If you've gone into Salt Cycles, said what's up to them, or bought a bike from them, thank you. They take care of me. I've been with them for a little over a year now, probably a year and a half. They came to me, just so you guys know my relationship with Salt Cycles. I drive past 3 or 4 bike shops on my way to Salt Cycles. Truly, I do. And they're not the closest bike shop to me, but Chris saw me on the trail, said, hey, you're the YouTuber guy. Let's ride. I got some bikes you can demo. I was like, sweet, thank you. And he said, well, hey, you know what? If you recommend our shop, I'll get you cost on parts and stuff when you need something. You need a new dropper poster. You need this. You need that. I'm gonna take care of you. And I was like, at this point, I was still paying at this point of the YouTube channel. This is how stupid this is. At this point of the YouTube channel, I had 20,000 views on some of these videos, and I was still paying $100 freaking bucks for a demo on a bike from bike shops. It's so dumb. Anyway, I paid money to go to Outer Bike, down to Outer Bike in Moab and demo bikes, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with paying money, but I'm just saying I was building content for these bike shops, right? Go in there and I'd say, hey, can I take out a bike? You know, I'll plug you on my YouTube channel. They're like, what are you talking about? You got like 1,000 subscribers. Who cares? I was like, fine, whatever. Here's my credit card. So that only lasted, you know, the first year or so. But man, Chris has been so good to me. He's helped me get some bikes a little bit earlier than what I otherwise would have got him. So I could, I mean, he's been great. So thank you for everyone who supports Salt Cycles. That's a huge support to me. Thanks for buying your bikes from competitive cyclists or your gear. That's a huge help to me, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, what do you guys want to talk about? It's 9:12 Mountain Standard Time. Are you guys watching the Democratic convention right now? I'll bet you most of you guys have me on one TV and the Democratic convention on the other, don't you? You guys want to see what old Joe Biden has to say. No, but seriously, did you guys watch Bill Clinton a couple nights ago and Obama? You guys watch Obama last night on the Democratic convention? I don't ever know about what they say because I'm not the most political person in the world. So I don't really know what they're saying, like what the actual content of what they're saying is. I'm not sure if what Obama is saying is useful or good or whatever. But I will tell you that Obama can speak. He is such a good public speaker, man. I mean, you want to believe every single thing he's saying. You look at him, he seems so sincere and he's just such a good guy, you know. I've never voted Democratic or Republican ever in my life. I've never voted Democratic or Republican. Not that we need to get too political here, but I know the Democratic convention is going on right now. I bet you some of you guys maybe your wives are watching it. I don't know. And Bill Clinton, this is the last thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say about the Democratic convention. But Bill Clinton looks like he is freaking 1 foot out of the grave, man. I can't believe how old he is. I graduated high school in 2000, so pretty sure he was president. Was Bill Clinton president in 2000? I'm pretty sure Bill Clinton was president in 2000. Anyway, it could have been Bush. Anyway. When he gave his speech the other night, I was just like, my goodness, Bill, you are getting old, buddy. What are they making him get up there and talk for? Why can't Bill Clinton just go do his thing? I don't get it. Anyway, that he's getting old. If they called me at that age, I would have told them to find somebody else to do their bidding. All right. Sorry to talk politics with you guys. Just trying to liven things up here. I need to get another drink. This thing's almost gone. I need to ride the transition spur. I need to find a spur. My buddy's got a size large, but I don't want to demo a large because I know I'll just poo-poo all over the bike. And then everyone will say, oh, you're just an Ibis fanboy, blah, blah, blah. When the reality is a large is just going to feel like a mega tank. Need to find a medium. So if you're in Utah and you own a transition spur in a size medium, hit me up on Instagram so I can hang out with you and ride your bike. Same thing with the tall boy. If you have a medium tall boy and you're in Utah, I want to do a head-to-head of the tall boy and the Ripley, and I will make sure they weigh the exact same. I'll freaking strap on some weight because I know I've built my Ripley up super lightweight, and that will not be fair for me to ride a 25-pound Ripley and a 30-pound freaking tall boy. But that's a head-to-head video I want to ride. I want to do. And I've ridden the tall boy a ton. So anyway, I want to read your comments here. See what we got going on here. I'm not going to demo the Yeti ARC hardtail. Sorry, dude. Have Hardtail Party. Have Steve. He's a YouTuber. Have Hardtail Party Steve ride that bike. That's his thing. Michael wants more politics. No, we're done with politics. Let's see here. Yeah, Chris Coleman, the tall boy versus Ripley. That's a good one. I could do that. I want to get a trail bike that has 130 to 150 millimeters of travel. What's my recommendation, Nicholas? My recommendation is pick the speed at which you ride. If it's super fast, get a pivot switchblade. If it's not quite as fast, get a Ripley. That's my answer. Let's see here. Connie says, stay focused on bikes. Thank you. Back to bikes. Tall boy ride characteristics. It's been a minute. I rode it probably, 2 months ago? I think I rode the Tall Boy 4 about 2 months ago. Ride characteristics, the thing feels bottomless. You just can't believe you're riding a 120 millimeter bike. It's like the Rascal. The Revel Rascal, same thing. Revel Rascal is more composed than the Tall Boy, but that's actually, you know what, that's the video I ought to do. I ought to do a Revel Rascal versus a Tall Boy. But the Tall Boy just feels bottomless. That new Santa Cruz suspension, descending, just feels so buttery smooth. They absolutely nailed it on that bike for descending. And the climbing's not horrendous. It's just not a Ripley. So for me, the Tall Boy's not big enough to be my big bike, obviously. And it's not light and fast and spry and zippy enough to be my short travel bike. So it's just kind of stuck in no man's land, which honestly, I need to remember that most people only own one bike. And so the Tall Boy could be a great bike for you. I just try to make it as lightweight as possible. So what does that mean? In fact, this was a great question somebody had for me earlier today. This is a good question. This is worth listening to probably. This guy said, hey, I'm new to mountain biking. This is on Instagram. I'm new to mountain biking. I've got a giant trance. How do I make it lighter? What's the next step for me? What do I do? How do I make my bike lighter? And a lot of us, me included, are thinking, well, we already know what to do. But if you don't know what to do, I'll just tell you what I told him. Oh, he also said that he was on a budget, right? So he didn't want to spend a lot of money. So the first thing you can do to make your bike lighter, that doesn't cost a lot of money, and I've done this years and years ago, but an aluminum 760 bar or 780 bar, maybe you have an aluminum 800 millimeters bars, I don't know, but a 760 bar aluminum will oftentimes weigh 120 grams, up to 120 grams more than a carbon bar. And you can buy a good carbon bar for, I don't know, like $100 maybe. I think you can get a Next R or a Next SL carbon bar. Who makes that? I think Raceface makes that. I want to say they're $115 or $120. Use my links below my videos to Competitive Cyclist. And when you get to Competitive Cyclist using my links, you can type in carbon bar or whatever, Raceface Next R bar. Anyway, there's 115, 120 grams right there. That's almost a quarter of a pound. Bam, right there, quarter pound, $100. That is the best bang for your buck. Next is grips. If you're not picky about your grips, get some ESI foam grips. I had used them for years back when I was racing. They're the lightest grips you can get. I forget how much you're gonna save, but for $30 or however much grips are, you're gonna save a ton of grams that way, right? So bang for your buck, bars, grips. Now you start getting into not just monetarily like bang for your buck money, but also like value, like real value, right? Not just weight. That's wheels. Tires, okay, sorry, we skipped tires. Grips, bars, tires, blah, whatever. If you can get away with a faster rolling, lighter weight tire, bam, you can shave a pound off your bike with $120 worth of new tires. So bang for your buck, that's the biggest bang for your buck, tires. But if you're out riding chunky stuff all the time, then you need good protection. You don't want to be, hey, look guys, I got a 26-pound bike, but you got flats every time you go riding with your buddies. They're not going to want to go riding with you anymore. You're fixing freaking flat tires every time you go out. Which, by the way, you should be using the Stans No Tube Dart. If you haven't bought a dart tool yet, I just linked it on my thing today because I thought I've used my dart so many times. In fact, on Instagram today in my stories, it's the little round thing at the top if you're not familiar with stories. Click on that. You can click on my stories and you'll see my blown up tire, and I had to use bacon and dart and it was a total joke. But anyway, yeah, you can get a dart. But back to tires. You can save a lot of weight with tires. Next is wheels. Wheels you can save pretty easily a pound. From if you bought a $4,000 bike, you could, with carbon wheels, save at least a pound over the type of aluminum wheels that come on a $4,000 bike. So there's another pound. So now we're up to like what, a pound and a half, a pound and 3/4, 2 pounds. You just got your 29-pound bike down to 27. The reason why that is, in my opinion, significant is because every time you pump up or pull down or pull in or push or manual or you create so much body bike separation when you're biking you don't realize, and you're constantly pumping that. So people say all the time, oh man, if you want a lighter bike, just lose 10 pounds. Look, I agree with you. Everyone should lose 10 pounds. That's probably in most people's case a good thing, especially if you're American. But having a light bike, you're just constantly pumping and pulling that bike. Having a light bike is super, super nice. If you haven't ridden a really good trail bike that weighs 26 pounds, you're missing out. It's just a dream. So, grips, bars, tires, what else are we talking about? Wheels. Okay, wheels, you get a light, you save a pound, but you pick up a much higher engagement hub, a rear hub with more points of engagement. So most of these wheels that you're buying your bikes with come with either 12 to 18 points of engagement. So for every time the cranks go around, you'll have 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys get that, right? And I get, for most of you, this is probably whatever. This is a refresher. You guys already know this. But for those of you who don't, there's going to be someone out there who's going to learn something here, so we'll just tell them. Those points of engagement is what gives you all that play when you're cranking through. So, like the wheels I've used for the last 5-6 years are DT Swiss 240s, and it has 54 points of engagements in the hub. So that means for every little click, there's 54 clicks by the time you get back around, right? That makes the ride so much better. Now an i9, an Industry 9 hub has like some crazy amount. Like I want to say like, I don't know, hundreds. Someone smarter than me will probably chime in here in a minute and tell you how many points of engagements are on an i9, but whatever, it's a ton. My Switchblade over there's got i9 hubs. I didn't have a choice in the matter. Chris at Salt Cycles made me take those NV wheels and i9 hubs completely against my will, by the way. I wanted Salt Cycles carbon lightweight wheels and DT Swiss 240 hubs. He said I couldn't have it, had to have the NVs. They come with i9s, whatever. I actually really like them, but they're just stupid expensive. So, 690 on, so Sean just told us, 690 on the i9. Insane. That's what gives it that loud buzzing noise, which is also kind of nice when you come up on someone, so you can kind of give them a little warning as you're scooting up on them, saying, hey, I'm here, I'm going to pass, and say, hey, have a nice day. I've got i9s, get out of my way. So, that's not what I do. I'm very polite. I got to wrap this thing up so I can watch the Democratic convention. So, what do we got here? grips, bars, tires, wheels, dropper post. Dropper posts are super heavy. That's why you'll never see me with a access dropper post. I don't want to put extra batteries on my bike that makes it heavier, and I just don't like access stuff. I forgot my batteries before. I've had it not sync up before on my previous bike that had access. I didn't like it. You'll never hear me recommend it. Shimano's better. But a KS Lev carbon dropper post is not that much more expensive than whatever dropper post you currently have, but it will be more expensive. But it will be, I want to say, 200 grams lighter. There's 450-ish grams in a pound. That's a half a pound just from the dropper post. Forget about it, man. If you want to get a light bike, that's what you do. So hopefully someone wrote that down. That's the steps to getting a lightweight bike. The next step after that would be cranks. Get yourself some lightweight carbon cranks. An affordable version would be the Race Face Carbon Next R or Next SLs. But there's a bunch out there. It doesn't matter which ones. I actually think the lightest ones are the E13 carbon cranks. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, hopefully that helps. All right, back into the chat. Looks like there's another super chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat from C78RKS. That's his ham radio. All right, why did you go with the Switchblade over the Ripmo? That's a good question. A lot of people asked me recently why I sold my Rascal and got a Switchblade. And a question I used to get a lot was why I liked or why I got the Rascal over the Ripmo. But why I got the Ripmo, or why I got the Switchblade over the Ripmo is because I already own the Ripmo. I love the Ripmo. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it might be better than the Switchblade, for all I know. But I already own the Ripmo. I currently own a Ripley, and I love the Switchblade. The Switchblade does climb better than the Ripmo, the current Ripmo, both Ripmos, the V1 or the V2. The V1, that's got to be one of the best trail bikes ever made. The V1 Ripley, forget about it. That bike was dialed. The Switchblade climbs better than both those bikes. The Switchblade looks a little better to me. It looks a little cooler to me. I haven't owned a Pivot in a while. I was just really drawn to that green bike. So that's a secondary, that's what I'm going to call a second type of cool. A first type of cool is like it fits me right. It's practical. It's the right type of bike for my trails. It's in my budget, like whatever. There's all type, a secondary type of cool is like, I like the way it looked or, whatever. But I do like the way it looks. I like that green paint job. I think it's pretty rad. It's different. There's a lot of blue bikes and gray bikes out there, and I kind of wanted a green bike. So the Switchblade has really good geometry. It climbs better than the Ripmos, both of them. Climbs better than the Rascal. But yeah, I could have gone with the Ripmo. I rode the crap out of the Ripmo. Right when it came out, Salt Cycles had a medium demo that they basically said, Jay, take it for a month, whatever. You do whatever you want with it. If you want it, you can have it. You can buy it from us, but I rode the crap out of the Ripmo, the V2 Ripmo right when it came out. It was that Star Destroyer gray one, and freaking awesome bike. I have no problem with that being my big bike right now. So nothing bad to say about it. I love it. I totally get why people would want to own it. I already owned and rode the heck out of the V1 Ripmo in 2019. I wanted to change things up a bit. Go with a Pivot, right? Plus, I've already got I've got an Ibis Ripley. I want to spread the love around, And I don't want everybody to think I'm an Ibis fanboy. I do worry about that a little bit, actually, that people think, oh, he's just an Ibis guy, which, what are you going to do, man? I mean, they're so good. They're so freaking good. I wonder which brand I'd pick if I could be sponsored by anyone. I'd probably have to pick like Giant probably, or Cannondale, someone that had a really good road bike. That way I could get a free road bike too. I ride a Cannondale road bike. I've ridden all. I've only had one other road bike. That's a Specialized. I had a Specialized Tarmac one year, but other than that, I've always had Cannondale. Yeah. Anyway, back into the chat here. What are you guys talking about in the chat here? Shimano XTR. Oh, let's talk about XTR real quick. I'm so glad I just saw this in the chat. Okay. So just so you guys know, on this Ripley, I have had initially XTR. Then I switched to XX1 mechanical because I wanted to have a gold chain and a gold cassette because I'm an idiot. So I paid all the money to put XX1 mechanical on there. Whatever. And then I switched it for Access because Chris at Salt Cycles called me up and says, dude, I just got an Access group set from my SRAM representative, his rep, the guy who sells to him, right? My SRAM rep just gave me a good deal on this Access. It's yours if you want it. I was like, well, how much is it? He's like, dude, I'll give it to you for like, it was some crazy, it was like $1,000 or $900 or something like that. I think it retails for like $2,000 or $2,100. So he's like, I was like, dude, for $900, yeah, whatever, I'll try it. Give it to me. Let's put it on there. So we put Access on there. And at first I was like, this is so cool. Cause it's like clicking the mouse on your computer, you know? It's just, if you guys haven't ridden Access, it's just so, there's this lure, whatever. You know, like a fish when they see the lure in the water? I was drawn to it, okay? Whatever. And yeah, I liked it. It was really fun. But man, when I got back onto a Shimano XTR bike, dudes, here it is. You ready for this? The new Shimano 12-speed stuff, XTR, XT, they're all good. I can even say this about XT. It's like there's a little fairy just hanging out by the rear derailleur, sitting next to the cassette, watching the cassette. And you click the button, and that little fairy takes the chain and puts it up the cog, and another one up the cog, and another one up the cog. It's incredible. It's so smooth. It doesn't matter how hard you're pedaling. If you're in a bad spot in a janky section of trail, you have to shift. Where normally, be honest with yourself, guys, normally on an XO1 SRAM drivetrain, you're like, oh crap, I'm gonna wait till I can let off the gear a little bit so I don't blow up my whole rear cassette and blow up my rear hub. You just shift on the Shimano stuff. You just shift and it goes. A little fairy back there working it all day long like a little silver gold miner, just doing its thing. It's incredible. It's so incredible. I can't go back. I need Shimano to I need Shimano to sponsor me is what it sounds like. Yeah, I can't go back, man. It's just too good. It's just too good. I forgot to mention Michael Glidewell is monitoring tonight too. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So yeah, I've turned into an Ibis fanboy and a Shimano fanboy. And now I've got MV wheels, so I'm a complete sellout, right? Got MV wheels on my stupid Switchblade that Chris at Salt Cycles made me have. Okay, Travel the Narrow Trail. He's saying the Ritmo V2 is amazing. If you can find one, the Unicorn. What are you talking about, dude? I'm not up to speed. Yes, thank you, Michael. I appreciate all that you moderators do. Bootleg says, does Salt Cycles have any Ripleys in stock? Yes, I saw a Ripley hanging. So this is how they do it. They've got frames hanging all along their rafters. And as soon as you call and say, hey, Chris, I need a blah, blah, blah. I need whatever I need. They grab it down, they build it up, they get it out the door to you. And that's the other beauty is they just custom build everything. They're not one of these shops that are like, oh, sorry, the bike's only offered with a GX build kit. Or that's just what it is. Sorry, good luck. If you want different brakes, you're on your own. You call us, you let me know if I can sell you some brakes, right? What the crap are you supposed to do with the brakes that came on the bike? These guys will swap out your bike. Okay, you want a different brake? Let's pull these brakes off, put new ones on, and we'll charge you just a little bit more or whatever. Maybe they don't charge you anything more. I don't know what they do. And, oh, you want these cranks? Good, let's put them on. You want a carbon bar? Great. Different tires? No problem. That's the great thing about Chris. The guy doesn't say no. He knows how to say yes. Yes, we can do that. And I love it. He's unbelievable. Let's see if Travel the Narrow Trail ever chimed in about what he was talking about. Anyway, did they have an extra large Ripley? I don't know, man. I don't work there. You need to call Chris at Salt Cycles and see if they got that bike for you. But yeah, no shops. Jackson Hodges is saying no shops have any bikes. It kind of feels that way right now too. Actually, the real problem from what I understand is parts. These bike shops or these bike manufacturers like Pivot, for example, they got 1,000 bikes frames ready to send out, but they don't have any DPX2s on there. So they don't have any shocks to put on these bikes. It's crazy. Okay, Manny P with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I just tuned in. You deserve to make some money off of your channel. Thank you for your tire combo recommendations and all the great bike reviews. Manny, you have been here. This guy, Manny, has literally been here since the very beginning. You might have been one of my first 200 subscribers, if I remember correct, Manny. I really appreciate that. And you know what? We do make money as YouTubers. I guess I'm a YouTuber, but it's just not very much money. You know, if you divide it by the amount of time it takes to make these videos, you're making less than $1 an hour. But you know what? A lot of you guys might not know this. I used to talk about this the first 6 months or year that I started this channel. I used to talk about this more, about the reason why I started the YouTube channel. And there's a reason why I don't have any YouTube logos. If you go to my channel, there's no channel art. It's just some stupid picture I took. I don't have any t-shirts, and I don't have anything. I don't even have like a font. It's just a font that I found for free. And the reason why is because I never planned on being a YouTuber. I honestly just wanted to put up my thoughts on a bike that I had just bought. I just bought a $5,000 bike, and that was the most money I'd spent on a bike up to that point in my life, you know, besides a road bike. And I just wanted to, like, you know, I just wanted to tell people what I thought, because I would read online in forums. I'd go in forums and people would use the words, "Ah, this bike shreds," or "This bike, oh, it handles the gnarliest terrain." But the problem is you don't know who you're talking to. You might be talking to some 13-year-old kid. Not that there's not 13-year-old kids out there that do actually shred, but come on, most of them don't. Or it could be some 65-year-old guy who maybe had his heyday in his day, but now he's getting a little older, and his terminology of shred or gnarly or sketchy or whatever could be vastly different than what yours or mine is, right? So I thought someone needs to make bike reviews where they don't tell you how gnarly the terrain is or how fast they're shredding. You just watch. You just watch, and then you can decide, the viewer can decide for themselves, that terrain seems easier than mine, or that terrain seems the same as mine, or it seems more difficult than mine, and his speed seems slower than mine or faster than mine. And then you can determine, okay, from what this guy's saying and the speed he's going and the type of riding he's doing on the type of trails that he's riding, I can then make a good determination for myself. Is this a bike that will work for me in my trail system and my riding style? Or should I take what he's saying and say, okay, he really liked that bike a lot for his trails, but I ride more janky, steeper stuff faster. Maybe I should bump up to something with a little bit more travel that can handle the speed more. So that's why I think the channel is as effective as it is. That's why I've liked the channel, even though I'm super critical of my videos. That's why I don't post as much as I used to, is because I'm starting to feel like, okay, a lot of these videos are starting to feel kind of the same. I've tried to change things up a little bit, but anyway, you know, I think there should be more people out there doing what I'm doing. More people like you. If you have the time, start a channel. And you don't need to be a YouTuber. I don't feel like I'm necessarily a YouTuber. You know, I don't have stickers and banners and hats and shirts and crap that I can sell you, although maybe I should. You know, I don't have like any fancy channel art, but yeah, I think there should be, if there's 20 people out there doing this, it's just that much better. You get that much more content before you pull the trigger on a $7,000 bike. That's a lot of money if you don't get a chance to demo it. And trust me, guys, I get messages every single day in email, Instagram, or here on YouTube saying, I can't demo this bike. You've ridden it, and you've also ridden X, Y, Z. How does it compare? What do you think? And I'm trying to give you my most unbiased opinion possible, but hopefully you guys can see there's always going to be some bias. I have an idea of what I like in a bike, but I try to give you, what I'm telling you, I'm giving you. So anyway, that's how the YouTube business started here. Yeah. So Manny, did you ever tell me if you were one of my first subscribers? I was saying that you were, but I didn't get a chance to look in the chat here. Let's see. He didn't even say. Manny, come on, bud. Pretty sure he was like my first 100 or 200 subscribers. I'm out of Coca Joy. You guys want to stick around and hang out for a little bit longer? Or should we wrap this thing up and go watch the Democratic Convention? It's gone. Man, that's the worst when it's gone. I should be on the payroll for these guys. I would love that. All right, if we're going to stick around for a little bit longer, I need to get another drink, and we need to figure out what we're going to talk about, because I'm running out of Ripley references. Um, let's see. What else are we going to talk about? Should we talk about the pivot switchblade? I think we've talked about that a bit too, haven't we? I think we might be wrapping this thing up. Yeah, many people are Ibis guys. It's funny. When I was a kid, Trek and Specialized in my area here in Draper, Utah, Specialized and Trek were all the rage. I remember my first like real good mountain bike was a Trek 6500 hardtail with V brakes, and I remember I put the biggest, knobbiest front tire I could find on that thing because I just needed some traction. But I loved that thing, that Trek 6500. I had that probably up until I was 17 or 18, I'll bet. And a lot of you guys might not know this. I actually didn't get my first full suspension bike until 2012. I always rode hardtails up until that point. So I was always hardtails up until 2012 when I got a Specialized stump jumper, 69-degree head tube angle, I think. And it was like their get rowdy bike. It's so funny how much things have changed in the last 7, 8 years. Think about it, guys. 7 years ago, nobody really had dropper posts. I don't think at all. I want to say that kind of, dropper post kind of came out and started getting popular in like what? 2016, maybe 2015. I don't remember exactly. Maybe 2014. I don't remember exactly. But God, it hasn't been that long that we've had droppers. Remember, you used to get to the top of the hill and you drop your saddle down. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's hop back in the chat here. Bike Some says SB115 and Ranger. Okay, I'm going to make a lot of people offended here. Maybe make you feel bad, but the Yeti SB115. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. It's an SB100 with a little different fork, right? I'm pretty sure it's the same frame. I could be wrong. I apologize to anyone that I've offended. I could be wrong. I have not been excited about that bike. Although the paint job, that white, that kind of bone color white paint job, man, they nailed it on that paint job. The Ranger, okay, I would be stoked to ride the Ranger. It's just I haven't been able to get one into demo, and I'm not going to buy it. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see what we got else in the chat here. Chris calls says, tall boy for a lighter rider, 5'6", 150 pounds. Same problem as you, active suspension. Yeah, I think the tall boy's still a good bike though. Sean says I should write for a bike magazine. Yeah, other than I have the worst grammar, punctuation, and spelling of anyone you've ever met. Here's the reason why I knew I didn't have to learn how to spell well. I always knew as a little boy, I used to tell my mom, Mom, one day I'll have a computer that I put in my pocket. It's a phone, and it will have spell check. In fact, I won't even have to type anything. I'll just click a little microphone button, and I'll just use speech to text. That's why I knew I didn't have to study for my spelling tests. And I tell my mom that every time I see her. Oh, I think it's getting late, you guys. You guys shouldn't have to see me like this, getting all loopy. In fact, my friends who drink tell me that I don't need to drink. I'm loose enough already. I don't need to drink. That's why I've never drank. What about the rail? 27.5, good enough climber, too much travel? I love the Revel rail. I thought that was so cool. A little slow out of corners compared to like a HD5, but cool bike. In fact, the HD5 was a cool bike. I thought it was a really cool bike. ZWO says, best bike under $3,000. Ah, man. I'd say get a little bit more money and buy a $4,500 bike, but I'm going to say Giant Trance. Giant Trance, yeah, why not? Best bike under $3,000. I think you get the Giant Trance with a rhythm fork, with a Fox rhythm fork, which has got the grip damper in it, which is the same damper they've got in the Fox 36 and the Fox 34. Sorry, getting a little shaky there, guys. Yeah, Giant Trance. Here's the thing I like about the Giant Trance. And I wish I was in with a bike shop that sold Giant and could get those bikes more often, because the Giant Trance aluminum bikes, honestly, guys, dead serious. Go into a Giant dealer and weigh them yourself. A Giant Trance aluminum versus carbon, I'll bet you there's not more than a half a pound difference between them. For some reason, somehow, Giant makes the best aluminum bikes on the planet. I don't get it, but they're lightweight. You can get an aluminum Giant Trans for like $3,200, and the thing weighs like 29 pounds or 28 and a half pounds. There's carbon bikes that cost 3 times as much that weigh the exact same. It's bonkers. It's totally insane. Giant should be making every bike manufacturer's aluminum frames. I'm being dead serious. I haven't ridden the Ritmo AF yet because I went into the bike shop and I freaking picked that thing up. The Ritmo AF weighs like 33 pounds. Again, I don't want to offend you if you ride a Ritmo AF, but man, what a tank. And I get it, that's a long travel bike, it's got a coil shock, yada yada, but man, Ibis is, they need to make a little bit lighter aluminum frame. Who knows? Maybe they'll make the Ripley in aluminum and they'll call Giant and Scott Nickel will get on the phone with the Giant's engineers and just say, "My name's Scott Nickel, please, sir, will you make us some aluminum frames?" Oh, I'm sorry, guys, but Giant makes the best aluminum frames. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's hop back in the chat here. Iso, what is that? What is that? Is that the YT bike? I've gotten so many people. How do you say that? Will somebody phonetically spell that out for me? Is it Iso? The YT Iso? Okay, I'll tell you why I haven't ridden the Iso yet, because they named it the Iso. So so I am right. It's Iso. That's a dumb name. Come on, guys. I don't really like the brand YT to begin with. If you guys haven't noticed, I just think they're clunky. I think they're heavy. I don't like all the E13 crap that they put on. I don't like those E13 tires that they put on that weigh freaking 1,500 grams. They're worse than the Maxxis Ascii and just too heavy. So the Iso, I've not ridden it. I don't know how I'm going to ride it because YT's not doing demos, and I don't know anybody who has a YT Iso. I don't know why they named their bike the Iso, but man, YT is not my cup of tea. If I was going to buy a direct-to-consumer bike, buy a propane. Easy decision. That propane suspension was way more sophisticated than freaking Fazari or YT or whatever else is out there. I mean, it's like a real thought-out engineered suspension, not just some rip-off of Specialized making some weird 4-bar horse link garbage Specialized suspension. Okay. All right. I'm getting negative. I don't want to be negative. Let's get back to positivity here. I need a drink. I need you give me a Cocoa Joy. Wish one of my kids was up. My kids are so good at that. They go get me stuff. They'll be sitting on the couch watching TV, and I'll be like, "Hey, can you grab me a drink?" And they're so excited to stop watching TV and go get me. "Hey, Elin, are you out of bed?" "You are." "Hey, will you go get me a drink, sweetheart?" "Okay." "Will you go out to the fridge in the garage and grab me another Cocoa Joy?" "Sure, but can I have a sip of it?" "Yeah, you can have a sip. You're so sweet." I know. My 10-year-old just got her braces off of her front teeth today. She looks so pretty. And she was out of bed, so she's going to go get me a Cocoa Joy. I know my parents did it to me, right? Probably until I was, 13, 14, make me do stuff that they could have done themselves easily. I mean, my fridge is literally like 12 steps that way right there. But instead, I made her go all the way out to the fridge that we have in the garage. The fridge in the garage holds like popsicles and ice cream and like chicken and buffalo and all that crap that we don't use every day, right? There we go. Our matey. Thank you. She now has to get a swig, right? You gotta shake it because all the good coconut stuff's at the bottom. Okay, I want you to take a drink and then go get in bed and go to sleep. Okay. A 10-year-old. I can't believe I have a 10-year-old going into 5th grade on Monday. Unbelievable. Okay, love you.
Okay, you're awesome.
Okay, see ya. All right, round 2 of the Cocoa Joys. I guess the Democratic convention is just going to have to be put on hold a little longer. I know your wife wants you to go watch it with her. Oh, man. It's so good. Like, honestly, guys, I'm not a sponsored idiot, okay? I was buying this stuff for years before I ever got the cojones to email them and say, hey, look, I drink this crap all the time. Would you mind just sending it to me and I'll plug it on my YouTube channel, which I don't know if it does them any good. I don't know if any of you have bought this stuff. I have no clue, but they keep sending it to me. Although they skipped last month. They didn't send it to me last month. And I was like, oh crap, am I no longer on like the bro list or whatever the sponsored people are? And so I thought, man, maybe it'll come, and it wasn't coming. And so I was like, Mars, my wife, we hit the grocery store. You got to buy some Cocoa Joy. Because when I get back from my big rides, I need this little pick-me-up, you know? It's just nice to sip on. Anyway, and so I sent him a little message on Instagram and said, hey, I'm out of Cocoa Joy. I was like begging for Cocoa Joy, right? And he was like, oh, crap, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'll get it over to you right away. I was like, no, don't feel bad. I want to make sure we're still doing whatever we're doing here. You know, where I say go buy Cocoa Joy and then you send me free Cocoa Joy, right? And he's like, no, 100%, we're still good. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. Okay. And then sure enough, to the rescue, Cocoa Joy. And it's got such a great logo. I mean, doesn't that just look, I know my screen got a crack in it, so it looks kind of funny right now, but isn't that refreshing looking? Man, it's just so... My wife's probably sitting over there thinking I'm an idiot. I need to get off this live stream. This has been fun tonight. I've been super relaxed. I usually get real uptight and nervous about having to talk to a stupid screen in my office here. And anyway, really fun tonight. Really good. I've had a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. We've had over 200 people in here for almost an hour. What are you guys doing with your life so you have time to come sit in here and do this stuff? I mean, unbelievable. Good to have you, though. Thanks to all you guys who watched. I should just say thanks real quick. Thanks to you guys who watched this. It has given me a platform to share whatever little bit of knowledge I have. I really probably don't know much more than any of you guys. I just get a chance to ride a lot of different bikes and have ridden a lot of different bikes and different platforms, suspensions platforms and systems. And yeah, hopefully that's good for you guys. Hopefully you guys appreciate that and enjoy that. Oh, that's something else I should talk about. So for the first time ever, I'm now riding on the Switchblade. One of the guys at Salt Cycle said, hey, you've never tried an oval chainring. Why don't you try one? And I was like, nah, I'm not really into the whole, you know, Blair Witch Project magical crap, you know. I don't do pretend magic stuff, you know. And he says, dude, trust me, the oval, it's better. I'm like, what do you mean it's better? It's like witchcraft. I'm not into that kind of stuff. And he's like, I'm putting it on your bike. If you don't like it, whatever, bring it back in, we'll take it off. So I put it on, and you guys, it's like ruined me. In fact, I need to link that in my affiliate program now. In fact, don't go to my links yet. I need to go drum up a new link so I can make some money. I need to go to my affiliate thing. I need to link to Competitive Cyclist my absolute black oval chainring. Hopefully they sell it. I would imagine they do. It's Competitive Cyclist. I'm going to link it. You guys can go buy it, and I'm going to get rich off of it, right? So I can't go back. In fact, I need to get, I've been meaning to take the Ripley into Salt and have them put the absolute black oval on that bike because it's ruined me. I don't know what it is about that oval chainring, but at first it was bonkers. Like at first it was really bizarre and very unusual, but I'm used to it now after what, 2 or 3 rides? And man, muy bueno. Carlos says, I worked hard today. Just relaxed drinking my sparkling water and watching you. Hey, good for you, man. Let's see here. And Michael says, your friends are correct. You shouldn't drink. Yeah, this is how I get, man. The later it gets, they usually bring me a long neck of like something that's not alcoholic. Usually, you know, like some sort of a root beer or an apple beer or like a cream soda or something. Because trust me, I do not need to drink. I can get as loose and yeah, I'm going to start embarrassing myself here in a minute. John says, I know you're 5'10". Is your Ripley a medium or a large? John, I'm actually 5'8". 5'8", and I ride a medium, if you're talking to me. Jackson says, what was bizarre about the oval chainring? Well, what's oval is it's not consistent. What's unusual about it is it's not consistent. Like it feels a little faster through the pedal strike. So, or pedal strike, the pedal motion. So it kind of instead of just doing this motion like a normal round chainring, it kind of goes like this, right? It feels a little off, right? But yeah, that's the oval. And I don't think I can go back now. I'm an oval guy. Yeah, Dan, thanks for chiming in there. I'm 5'8". In fact, my friends, all of my friends, when they see me, I'm not joking. All of my friends either call, and they don't watch this. I don't let them watch this live stream. I tell them if they watch a live stream, and they're going to get beat up by all my other friends. This live stream is just for me and you guys, not for the guys that they hang out with every day, because then they just make fun of me. But they all either call me Hollywood. I don't know why, because everywhere I go, I run into someone that says hi. So they either call me Hollywood, or they say, hi, my name's Jason. I'm 5'8", 140 pounds. Because I say that on every video, because I think it's important that people understand that I'm 5'8" and 140 pounds, and I ride a medium. And so when Zach sees me, he'll say, hey, I'm 5'8", I'm 140 pounds, and I ride a medium. It's the stupidest thing. Anyway, it's good that Zach won't be watching this right here. Otherwise, he'll be making fun of me. All right, back to the super chat, or we got Jay Flores with the $5 super chat. Thank you. He wants to talk about thoughts on the Evil Offering versus the Pivot Switchblade. All right. First of all, the Evil Offering is so much fun. Jumping it, hitting rowdy sections kind of with little step downs and little drops. I don't do huge drops, but whatever. Yeah, it's an awesome bike. The Pivot Switchblade is going to feel more efficient climbing, much more efficient climbing, given the exact same tires. It's just a better climbing bike. But it just depends on what you want out of your bike. If you're going to go climb a ton all the time, Jay Flores, if you ride your bike 3 or 4 times a month, kind of like once a week type of thing, get whatever bike you want. Who cares? You're riding once a week. Big deal. But if you're riding more often, if you're riding, 2-3 times a week, now you're up to like 8, 9, 10, 12 times a month. You're going to want something that climbs better, in my opinion, than the Offering. But if you are a guy that goes to lift service bike parks, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a summer, that to me is quite a bit. If you're going to go that many times, that's 2 or 3 times a month through the summer. In the bike park, I would imagine the Offering is more fun. If I was riding, of course, if I was riding bike parks all the time, I wouldn't want either one of those bikes, frankly. But the Evil Offering has a little bit more fun to it, really playful. Not that the Switchblade isn't, but the Switchblade pedals up better. I would say that the Switchblade has better slow speed trail manners. I would say maybe than the Offering even. It's been a minute since I've ridden the Offering, so I guess it would be fun to get back out on that bike. And when I rode the Offering, I was also riding the V1 Ripmo and the SB130 quite a bit back then. I think it was about not quite a year ago, but maybe October of last year. So yeah, coming up on a year. And the Switchblade would be the better trail bike in my opinion, the better do-everything bike, the everyman's bike, for someone that still wants to go fast and hit some chundery downhill. The Offering doesn't climb quite as well, but I do think it's a more fun bike to ride. It's a little bit more fun. And I'm pretty sure one of my buddies is watching. They just text me. Oh, no, somebody else. Anyway, I would go Switchblade. I mean, I got a Switchblade sitting right there. I don't know, the Evil Offering, yeah, I need to be riding a lot more downhill to justify the Offering, I think. Let's see here. Carlos says the only reason why he watches Jason is because he's 5'8" and 140 pounds too. Cheers. to us wimpy guys who could get beat up by 12-year-old schoolgirls. Oh boy, making a mess. All right. Okay, I think we're about done, guys. Unless you guys have some more things to talk about. Someone asked me recently what knee pads I ride. I've been riding the Troy Lee Design Speed Sleeve knee pads, but I just recently bought a pair of Fox Enduro, whatever their Enduros are. I linked those in the description below my video, so you guys can click on it and make me super rich. So I'm going to try the Fox ones. I also, I've been wearing the Smith Forefront 2 helmet for, geez, a long time now. And I just recently had Salt Cycles order me a Fox Speed Pro, Speed Pro maybe. I'm just going to give it a try. I haven't even tried one on, but he said if I didn't like it, he'd just leave it there and sell it at his shop in the inventory. But so it'll get here in a little bit. So I might be switching my helmet too. I love the Smith helmet, but I don't know. I kind of want to try something different. And I link all the stuff that I use in the descriptions below my videos. If you guys don't want to buy it, you can go click on those and head over to Competitive Cyclists. Speed Frame Pro. John, yes, I think that's it. Really cool looking helmet. I'm excited to try that out. Ryan Harris just said, we got 200 people in here right now. We only have 44 thumbs up. So hit the like button. Thank you, Ryan Harris, for saying that. I'll go like and comment and hit the bell. Laugh out loud. Exactly. That's what you got to do. That's what us YouTubers need, you know? Okay, last question right here. Rotor Wind says, do you think heavier riders need bigger bikes with more suspension? I don't necessarily think you need bigger bikes with like longer travel suspension, but here's a perfect example. If you're 230 pounds and you want an Ibis Ripley or a Pivot Trail 429, my recommendation would be the Pivot Trail 429. The Ripley is not, I don't think it's overly flimsy, but it's just not as robust and burly as the Pivot Trail 429. So if you're 230 pounds, I would get the Pivot Trail 429, even though I personally regard the Ripley as the better bike, definitely the better bike, but I'm also 140 pounds. So at 230 pounds, yes, I would for sure go with the more robust bike. It's not necessarily that you need more travel, because you don't. Not in my opinion, you don't. I see big guys all the time, really big guys who are racing on 100 millimeter Cannondale scalpels that weigh 195 pounds, you know, and they're not complaining that they're too flimsy, you know. So, you know, it's just, and it comes down to your riding style. I would say more travel has more to do. You need more travel if you are going at a higher rate of speed, okay? Or if you're hitting drops or big jumps, you know. A Fox 36 up front will get you out of a bind better than a Fox 34, not because it's 160 millimeters of travel versus 140, but because it's a Fox 36. It's a stiffer stanchions, bigger stanchions, more robust suspension, right? So if I put a Fox 36 on my Ibis Ripley and kept it at 140 millimeters of travel, so the same travel as the Fox 34 I have right now, the Fox 36 would, if I found myself in a situation where I hit a jump here, and I was coming in, I was landing nose heavy like this and then coming down like this, as opposed to stomping it like that. If I was going to go nose heavy, I believe the Fox 36 would have a better chance of keeping me safe and upright and with the rubber side down than the Fox 34, right? But the Ripley that I have is not built for that. If the Ripley was my only bike, 100%, in fact, this is how we're going to sign off tonight. If the Ripley was my only bike, it would have 4-piston brakes for sure, which I have 2-piston brakes right now because I want lightweight. And it would have a Fox 36 on the front at 140 millimeters, not a Fox 34. Everything else would be the same, and I'd have 2 wheel sets. The wheel set that I have right now, which is crazy light. Oh, you guys are not going to believe how light this is. These are custom built wheels by Chris from Salt Cycles. They're 1,240 grams. It's ridiculously light. He won't even sell them to you if you're over like 180 pounds or if you ride hard. He just won't even sell them to you because he knows you'll break them. I haven't broken them. I've got over 2,000 miles on that bike, on those wheels. And they're just fine. They're great, but they're 1,240. Come on, guys, forget about it. That's so light. So I'd have that wheel set with like an Ardent race front and rear tire, or maybe the Recon and Ardent, whatever. And then I have another wheel set, maybe like the Ibis S28s. Bingo, that's a great wheel set with DHF 2.5 front tire, DHR2 2.3 rear tire. Bingo. Although I wouldn't do it. That would not be how I would do it. Or, you know, if I could only do one, no, we're not going to get into one bike. I'm never going to own only one bike. I want to hop into the comments here, see if you guys are saying goodbye. What road bike do I use? It's a Super 6 Evo by Cannondale. Do you think being a shorter rider actually makes a difference when you ride a 29er at 5'5"? Yeah, I do actually. In fact, if you're 5'5" and you want a 29er, mullet a bike. Buy a 27.5 wheel size bike like a Yeti SB 140. Throw a 29er fork on there, but instead of 160 millimeters, drop it down to 150 millimeters so you get 10 millimeters there, and you got yourself a mullet bike so your butt's not getting hung up in the 29er in the back. I'm 5'8" and I struggle with that too. Us short guys get our butts hung up in the rear wheel all the time. It's terrible. That's why I used to exclusively ride 27.5 wheel size for my long travel bike, because you get into that steep stuff and you're way off the back of the bike and your butt's getting hung up in the wheel. It's terrible. So anyway, I think we answered those final questions. All right. Like John Wilkes says right there, if you guys are looking at the chat, like John Wilkes says, it's a great time to be a mountain biker. I couldn't agree more. Disc brakes, dropper posts. I mean, that's the biggest things in my lifetime that's changed is disc brakes and dropper posts. What else? One by drivetrains, the Eagle, the 50 tooth. But man, there's never been a better time on the planet to be a mountain biker. Trail access through the roof. So many opportunities to ride your bike out there. These bikes are insane. I mean, I'm actually going running tomorrow morning with some friends. We're gonna go run up a mountain, but normally I'd be biking tomorrow morning. But man, how do you do any better? Good geometry. Thank you, Tony, for saying that. The geometry is better than it's ever been. AJ on says F running. I couldn't agree more. Running absolutely sucks. But for my wife's birthday on September 5th, we're going on this big old 14-mile hill climb up 6,500 vertical feet of climbing. So if I don't get started now, well, I run once a week anyway, but this is going to go running up a hill. So I got to get in shape for running up a hill. But thank you to everyone who was in the chat tonight. I had such a good time. It's always good to be with you guys. Thank you for your support and for hanging around watching my stuff. If you guys didn't watch it, then I close it down. And don't want to do that. So still got 180 people in here right now. Hit the like button before you leave if you don't mind. And thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And yeah, it's been fun. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already. And go buy stuff from my affiliate link so I can get super rich. And buy Coco Joy. That's what I have to tell you, right? Because I'm sponsored by Coco Joy. All right, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy the Democratic convention. I'm sure it'll be really good. Really excited to see what old Joe Biden has to say. All right, let's turn this thing off.